Hi there, welcome to the Top Dog Tips YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to be showing you the 4 synthetic antioxidants in dog food that you need to avoid if you want your dog to live a long and happy life, so stay tuned. So dry dog food has recently come under a lot of scrutiny and a lot of skepticism, like I've discussed before in other videos, and it's continuing to grow. There are a couple reasons. The first is thousands, and I'm sure there's more than that, of reported coincidental signs of sickness, illnesses, and disease, and even death that have happened to dogs and cats that were originally healthy animals, and pet owners are scratching their heads wondering why. After further education from the massive community that is pet owners, many have discovered that it has to do with what they are eating. In fact, many pet food companies do not follow the same standards and guidelines as they would for preparing food for human consumption. And pet food companies have come up with a way to manufacture dog food at scale in the attempts to create a sterilized food. In that process, they use terrible sources of meat quality to cut corners and save costs, as well as use high heat processing, which damages the nutrients of the food. And overall, they add synthetic ingredients and plant-based proteins that do not meet the nutritional requirements of dog food. The synthetic ingredients we are going to go over today are antioxidants. And now when you normally think of antioxidants, you think of different plants and herbs and other things that are healthy for humans to consume, such as like dark chocolate, there's antioxidants in that, and acai or honey, and moringa and other stuff. Well, these antioxidants are different by nature, and they act differently in the animal's body as well. These antioxidants were created in a laboratory in order to preserve the quality of the food, but have been reported to cause negative effects on the liver and to be carcinogenic in animal studies. This leads me to the very first synthetic that I'm going to talk about, Ethoxyquin. Ethoxyquin is the first food additive in this list that I'm going to go through that pet food companies use to prevent the fats in the sterilized food to oxidize and ultimately prevent the dog food from becoming rancid. Ethoxyquin is also used as a pesticide. Ethoxyquin began to raise concerns after pet owners reported negative side effects, and after the FDA's further investigation, they discovered that consuming ethoxyquin at the maximum amount that it is allowed to exist in pet foods at the time, which by the way was 150 parts per million, it increased liver enzymes in lactating female dogs and rats. This is also known as the Monsanto study, and we'll link to that study in the description. If you don't know what increased liver enzymes means in humans, that typically means that when a doctor tells you that your liver enzymes have been increased, there's typically some kind of inflammation or damage to the cells of the liver. After the backlash, the FDA ended up lowering the allowed amount in dog food from 150 parts per million to 75 parts per million. And ultimately, pet food companies removed it from production completely. On top of that, another report from the Environmental Protection Agency claims that dogs are actually more susceptible to ethoxyquin toxicity than the rats that were done in the Monsanto study. And the FDA only allows 5 parts per million of ethoxyquin in human food. And lastly, we don't really know the safety of ethoxyquin overall because there aren't any long-term studies. And when I mean long-term, in this sense, I mean there hasn't been any studies that go past the effects of toxicity of ethoxyquin past 90 days. So they haven't done a study that's gone longer than 90 days on the effects of ethoxyquin, which means 2 things. 1, it didn't take long for adverse effects to appear in the rats. And 2, there's not been enough research done for the FDA to confirm that ethoxyquin should and can be used in dog food. Now, the second antioxidant ingredient that you need to watch out for is BHA. BHA stands for butylated hydroxytoluene. This antioxidant is not a carcinogen. However, in animal studies, it actually has been linked to cancer. BHA is classified as reasonably anticipated as a human carcinogen by the National Toxicology Program, and it's also classified as an endocrine disruptor by the European Union. It has also been reported to lower the thyroid hormone thyroxine and even affect reproduction. The next antioxidant is typically found in tandem with BHA because of the synergistic relationship with the two. Which leads me to number 3, BHT. BHT is not a carcinogen, but it has also been linked to cancer in animals, similar with BHA, and there are also reports of thyroid hormone changes, which suggests that it could also be an endocrine disruptor as well. Which brings me to the very last antioxidant, TBHQ. TBHQ is derived from butane, and studies show that there is a wide margin of what is safe and what is toxic for consumption in dogs. And unfortunately, toxicology studies haven't been performed for more than a month, so their safety is still questionable. In humans, consuming high doses of this antioxidant, between 1 and 4 grams, certain side effects appeared, such as vomiting, nausea, dizziness, and more. Studies also in lab animal exposure show that there were precancerous changes in the animal's stomach and even damage to their DNA. So these are very important for you to be aware of, and you need to check the labels of the dog food you're looking for, whether you're in PetSmart or Whole Foods or any other local chain grocery store. Well, that's gonna do it for us here at Top Dog Tips. If you enjoyed this video, then you probably enjoy this one as well, or this one over here. And with that, I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.